Hello everyone. I hope you are having a great day. This week's adapted PE lesson involves a lot of balance work. We're going to do a couple of other things as well. We're going to do a little strength building, but it's going to be a lot of balance. So you're going to need two things. One is kind of like I've got behind me there. What I did is I just took a piece of tape, well, two pieces of tape, and I just made a cross. Just like that behind me on my mat back there, okay? You can do this with a string. You can use like a piece of ribbon or fabric or anything like that, a rope. But you'll just need two things that you can make a cross like that. And then you will need a stick of some sort. So it could be like my trusty PVC pipe here. It could be a broomstick, whatever. But some sort of stick, a couple of feet long would be good. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the different movements that I want you to do, and I want you to explore each of these movements for about a minute each. And so you or your parents can set a timer for that, or you can just play with it for a little bit for about a minute, and then you'll switch to the next movement, and you can go through that a few times. If you get stuck on one, you can move on to the next one, or you can work on it a little bit more. But if you get frustrated, just move to the next thing. It's not a big deal. So, first thing we're going to do, I'm going to move back. And that's pretty good. We'll get to what we're going to use the cross for in a minute here. But first thing I'm going to do, sitting either with your legs crossed, or you can sit in a long seated position like this. I'm going to sit long seated here. We are going to open up our shoulders a little bit with some pass-throughs, and we've done these before. So you're just going to take your stick and you're going to grab it pretty wide here, probably outside of your shoulders, and we're just going to move backwards here and then going back forward. All right, working on not bending your elbows. So moving back and moving forward. You don't want to go into any pain with this. And so if you're moving here and ooh, it hurts right there, we're going to go right before that area, and then you'll come back down. Here is fine. If you can get all the way back here, but then you start to bend your elbows, we're just going to go to where you don't bend your elbows. Okay, so maybe it's right there, and then we'll come back. But if you can, and you can keep those elbows locked out, we're going to move all the way back and all the way forward. So we'll do that for about a minute or so. Then we're going to get into rows. Okay, so remember the basic row, just like you're rowing or kayaking, you're just gently scraping the floor. If this is easy, what we'll do is we'll start to lean back a little bit. Leaning back a little bit without anything supporting you makes it a little bit harder. Some of you may need a parent, or you may need a wall right there to support you, or you'll just fall over. No problem, use that. But if this is easy, leaning back without support, now we're going to start to bring the feet up. Ooh, now it gets spicy. And we're going to row. So we're going to go through that rowing for about a minute. So that's move number 2. Move number 3 will be here. And all I'm going to do from a push-up position, I can be on my knees, or I can have my feet here. I'm just going to have both hands on one side of the stick, and then I'll put both hands on the other side of the stick. Walk both hands here, walk both hands there. Moving back and forth, going through that. Now we're getting into our balance pieces, so you'll do that for a minute. Here's where the cross starts to come into play. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do, if you can, you'll just be walking on it. Put that down, and we'll just walk. Kind of like you're walking on a tightrope. You can walk backward. Okay, just like so. The next thing we'll play with is some single leg work, and this is where your stick can come in handy to help you. So I'll stand in the center of the cross here. The stick is in my left hand, just like so. All right. And so from this position, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift my left leg up, just like so, and then I'm going to bring it to the back. I'm going to see if I can go that way with it. These are called scales. Basic gymnastics exercise. So I'll keep it here, plant my left. This is in my right. I'm going to bring my right leg up, and then my right leg goes back. Then maybe I'm going to try it with no PVC. So maybe your arms come up, maybe you put your left foot forward, and then your left foot begins to go back. And you're trying to keep your right leg as straight as possible. And you're coming here. But I want you to play with those, the scales. Use your stick as much as you need to in that area to get through the scale part. The final move that I want you to work on now is going to be a little more explosive. We're going to do some jumping. So you have your sections of your cross here, right? You've got this section, the top right, the top left, the bottom right, and the bottom left. So we're going to work on some jumping. We're going to start with 2 feet, taking off on 2 feet, and landing on 2 feet. So I'm going to start at the bottom right, and I'm going to jump to any one of these other sections that I want to jump to. Maybe I'll jump over here to the top left. Jump and land. All right. Now I'm going to jump again, but I don't want you to jump from where you just jumped. So I'm not going to jump back. So maybe I'll jump right across here, trying to not touch the cross here. Now I'm going to go back to this one. Back and forth, wherever you want to go. Maybe I'll go forward. Maybe I'll go back where I started, and so on. If 2 feet works well for you, then now I'm going to use 1 foot. So now I'll use 1. 1. Now it gets interesting because now you really have to balance. Now I'll go not from where I jumped, but I'll go right across here. Whoa. Tricky. Now I'm going to go back. Don't touch. Playing with that on 1 leg. If you can. If 1 leg is too much, don't do 1 leg. Do 2. If jumping is too much, don't jump. Just step. Go with what you can do and do the best you can to improve just a little bit. You can do this lesson a couple of times this week. So we got a bunch of fun things to do. I'll put the names of the things in the description below. Spend about a minute or so on each one. And if you're feeling good and you like it, go back and do it all over again, spending about a minute on each skill. All right. As always, if you have any questions, email me at chair@ebrschools.org. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Stay strong.